Okay, so everyone is talking about AI agents, right? But let's be real for a second. A lot of that talk is super high level. Today, we're going to cut through all that noise. We're going past the hype and opening up the actual engineering blueprint to see exactly how these incredible agents are built step by step. So let's dive in. And I mean, this quote just nails it. This is why we need to understand the how. It's not just another new tool or some fancy app on your phone. No, we are talking about a complete shift, a fundamental change in how we get work done. AI is becoming an active, autonomous partner in the process. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. If these agents are the new OS, how do you actually install them? How do you go from a cool idea scribbled on a napkin to a fully functioning, intelligent AI agent? Well, lucky for us, there's a proven blueprint for that. And here it is. This is our master plan. Think of it as our roadmap for this entire explainer. We're going to follow this architect's journey, walking through the whole process, from that first spark of an idea all the way to launch. All right, let's start where any good project starts, the very beginning. Look, if you're building a skyscraper, you don't just start pouring concrete on day one, right? You start with a detailed, solid blueprint. The success of the entire project, everything, hinges on getting this foundation absolutely right. This first phase is 100% about clarity. You've got to ask the tough questions right up front. What specific problem is this agent actually solving? How are we going to measure if it's doing a good job? What are the KPIs? And this last one's a biggie. How much freedom does it have? Is it just going to suggest things? Does it need your thumbs up for every single action? Or is it going to be fully autonomous? Now, let's talk about the system prompt. You can think of this as the agent's brain, or maybe even its core DNA. This isn't just a one-line instruction. It is a detailed document that spells out everything: its personality, its goals, its instructions, and, super important, the guardrails that keep it from going off track. It's the difference between saying, summarize this report, and saying, you are a senior financial analyst. Summarize this Q3 report for the CEO, focusing only on key risks and opportunities, and use a formal but concise tone. See the difference? That detail is what makes an agent predictable and reliable. Next up, you've got to choose your core building material, the large language model. And this is a classic engineering trade-off. It's a tug of war, really. On one side, you've got performance. You want the best quality model, you want it to be fast, and you want it to handle a ton of information. But on the other side, there's always the budget. So choosing between a powerhouse like GPT-4 and something like Claude 3, it all comes back to the specific job you defined in that first step. Okay, our foundation is laid, the blueprint is solid. Now we get to the fun part, the actual build. This is where we give our agent its powers, the ability to actually interact with the world, and, just as important, we give it a memory so it can learn as it goes. So this is the real game changer. Tools are what separate a thinking machine from a doing machine. You give an agent access to APIs, to web search, to other apps, and suddenly you've given it hands. It can reach out into the digital world and perform real actions. It's not just processing text anymore, it's actually booking a flight or running code to analyze data. And an agent needs two kinds of memory to be effective. First, there's working memory. Think of it like a sticky note on your monitor. It's short-term, just remembering the context of the current task. But then you have long-term memory. This is the deep knowledge, the lasting intelligence. It's stored in things like vector databases, which are kind of like a super organized library for an AI. And it allows the agent to build on its knowledge over time, so it's not starting from zero on every single task. So we have all these parts: the brain, the tools, the memory. But how did they all fire in sync? Well, that brings us to the engine. We need a central nervous system to coordinate everything. This is called orchestration, and it's the magic that lets an agent handle really complex, multi-step problems. The most advanced systems often don't use just one agent. Instead, they build a whole team. You might have a planner agent whose only job is to break a huge goal down into smaller, manageable steps. Then you'll have one or more executor agents that actually do the work. And finally, a verifier agent comes in to double-check that everything was done correctly. It's like a super efficient assembly line for intelligence. So how do these agents actually think? Well, they use what are called reasoning frameworks. One popular one is chain of thought, which is basically what it sounds like. It teaches the agent to think through a problem step by step, just like you would. Another really powerful one is react, which stands for reason and act. It's a loop. The agent reasons what to do, It acts by using a tool, it observes the outcome, and then it reasons all over again. It's this constant cycle of thinking and doing. All right, we are in the home stretch. We've designed it, we've built the engine. Now it's time to launch this thing. But look, the most powerful agent in the world is totally useless if nobody can use it. This final phase is all about creating that front door for your users and, crucially, a system for making it better over time. The user interface can make or break your agent. Your brilliant creation could live inside a simple chatbot window or a full-blown web app, or it could work quietly in the background as a Slack bot. The absolute key here is to meet your users where they already are. You make the interaction totally seamless. And this might be the most important rule of all. A great agent is never, ever finished. It's all about this constant cycle, this loop. You build it, you test it against your metrics, you find ways to improve it, and then you do it all over again. Repeat, repeat, repeat. This is what separates the good agents from the truly great ones that learn and evolve. So when we pull back and look at the whole picture one more time, you can see it's so much more than just a checklist. It's a real journey. It's about transforming a simple idea into a defined purpose, then building that into a thinking, acting intelligence, and finally shaping it into a product that gets smarter with every use. This is the complete playbook. So there you have it. We've just walked through the entire blueprint that the best AI engineers are using right now. The process is clear, the components are all there, and the potential is just massive. So really the only question left is, now that you have the plan, what are you going to build?